to fucking set this up. So the class normally starts at 7:30. The traffic is horrendous because we've got Storm Amy at the moment, which is phenomenally underwhelming. It's so boring. I like a storm because it's normally atmospheric, but there's absolutely sweet fuck all going on. It's just a bit of wind. But yes, we shall see what the session has in store. I had ramen about an hour ago, so I'm hoping that doesn't backfire and that I spend half the session in the toilet. We'll see how it goes. Basically just gonna watch this back with you guys. So we'll start. One of the first things that you have to get used to when you start doing Muay Thai, kickboxing, K1, boxing, whatever, is you've got to get used to shadow boxing, and you feel like you look like a tit. And you do look like a tit because you've absolutely no idea what you're doing. You haven't a foggiest of what you're doing. Everyone else is used to it, and everyone else knows that when you start, you don't know what you're doing, you've just got to get stuck in. So the best thing is just to give it a little bit of a go, show how incompetent you are, show that you've absolutely no idea what you're doing. And other members of the class or other instructors will just come around and be like, listen, okay, don't do that, that's awful. I still really don't have any idea what I'm doing, but I've got over that initial friction and hesitancy to actually give it a go. So I'm happy to make a tit of myself. I'm happy to just try and give it a little bit of a go and warm up. Here, Uzi is just showing us through a little bit of a drill. I'm practicing it, but I'm just not really paying attention. So you'll see that when it comes to actually doing the drill, I'm like, what am I doing? I've absolutely no idea what I'm doing. So it takes me a couple of goes to actually realise what the sequence is, and then we can start to give it a go. And we just drill this for absolutely ages. We just drill it until we're absolutely knackered. So this is kind of like part of the warm-up. You're still trying to get your heart rate up. You're still trying to get your lungs going so that when it actually does come to it, you're able to really get that. Well, for me, you're able to get maximum power output probably for about a minute, and then my endurance just tanks and I've got absolutely nothing left. So Uzi coming over here and he's just saying, he's like, listen, when you're coming in for that hook and for that uppercut at the end, or that body shot, you're not actually rotating your body to the left to be able to charge up and wind up for it. So you've got to come back a little bit more and then go through with it. Some people just get it naturally. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people. I do need quite a few prompts. Fortunately, I'm relatively coachable. So if someone gives me a cue or a tip, I have a good enough understanding on my body to be able to actually put it into practice. I'll just let you listen to this, because it's quite a nice sort of pitter-patter sound. And then the next drill, we start to put a little bit of a kick in. So there's a 1-2, there's a slip, and then there's a cross again, and then you go into a switch left kick. For the first few, I'm already blowing. I'm already really, really out of breath, and I'm running out of steam. So you'll notice then when it comes to doing the switch left kick, I don't do the switch. I just go straight for the left kick because I'm knackered. I'm already pretty finished at this point. So there's hardly a switch there at all. Hardly a switch at all. So yeah, Uzi's about to take Kaka off to be on the pads, and I'm just not switching at all. I'm not switching at all. It's horrendous. It's very, very sloppy, and a little bit more of a switch there, but I'm just really, really tired. And I'm noticing that actually when I'm coming to roll, I'm coming forwards far too much. I should be a little bit more upright. It should be sort of just down and then over to the right and then coming across for the cross. But I'm not. I'm just making it all so exaggerated, way more than it needs to be, wasting quite a lot of energy. And when it comes to that switch left kick as well, there's absolutely no rotation of the hips at all. I'm quite wooden, I'm quite straight on, and then I'm just trying to flick my knee straight and try and get that kick there. Whereas actually I need to be trying to take my hips over towards the right a fair bit more, and then I can really try and get that hip flexion, swing all the way through and get a little bit more power. And through doing that, it's much more effective. And I think as you get used to it, you just don't use anywhere near as much power. There are some of these shots actually where I am getting my hips across, but it's like 1 in 5, 1 in 7 or whatever. And you can see that I'm starting to gas out. I'm getting really tired, getting lazy. But yeah, we can just see that we're cycling through it. So you essentially just drill it loads and loads and loads until you feel as though you're getting a little bit more comfortable. My issue with it is my endurance, my stamina, my cardio just isn't there. So I just get really tired. And let me just sort of pause it there 1 second. What I'm noticing is that my jab, you can see it coming a mile off. Same with my hook, you can see it coming a mile off. So I'll just sort of pause that frame there. You can see it coming a mile off. So instead of sort of stepping straight into it, turning my body and trying to go for that jab, I'm coming forwards, my fist comes into my shoulder, and then I'm just telegraphing so much. So it's actually quite good to watch all this back, so I know exactly what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, I'll do the same with the cross as well, which is not ideal. The next thing that we're going in to do is, Uzi's just showing some other guys how to do the drills. I'm going to go on Thai pads with Uzi, and this is the most grueling section of the session, without a shadow of a doubt. I struggle throughout this entire section. It's so hard. So we'll just skip forwards into when me and Uzi actually get on the pads. So we're actually on the pads here. And I'm already knackered. I'm really tired. I'm trying to go in for those knees, and I am not, pushing my hips out. I'm not getting the internal rotation of my hip to try and get that angle on the knee. It's really bad. There are a couple of things here which are okay, but the kicks are quite sloppy. I'm not turning my hips. That wouldn't be coming around to get enough force into the body if I was actually trying to throw that. It'd be just far too vertical. I wouldn't be getting anywhere near enough chop into the actual body. My arms are coming out to the side far too much. I need to keep everything a bit tight, a bit more tucked in. So there's just so much to work on, but in all fairness, I've only been doing it for a few months. So yeah, need to keep everything much tighter. Those hooks, I'm coming far, my angle on my elbow is just far too dropped. I need to get that elbow much higher so I can swing round and get that hook. And I know that's a common mistake of mine, something that I really need to try and learn and work on. But I am just gassing out here. I am so tired. He's trying to get me to come in for the elbows, and I've hardly got the energy to actually push into them. So he's actually been very kind and doing a lot of the work for me, and he's meeting me far closer than he should be. And I'm just really tired. I'm blowing out of my bottom hole right now. And I'm just hoping at this point I can remember thinking, like, you can see everything's getting so sloppy. Everything's getting so sloppy. I was just waiting for us to say, okay, time, we're done. But yeah, I was just gassing out so much. So I'll just let you watch the rest of this, and then we go on to the next section. Yeah, he's trying to get me to do those straight punches, and I just don't have enough energy at all. And you can see everything's just, I'm so front on, all my limbs are splaying out, nothing's kept tight, there's no whip to anything. I am just absolutely knackered. I'm so tired. Yeah, and he's helping me a lot. I'm not covering anywhere near enough distance to be able to come across and actually meet him where he needs to be met. So he's just called time. You can see I am absolutely finished. I'm written off. And this next drill that we do, you're just holding the kettlebell in front of you, and you're trying to essentially push your hips out, although you can see none of us are pushing our hips out at all. Emma is. Emma's pushing her hips out. Or at least she was on a couple of them, but me and Kaka aren't. We're being super lazy. So Uzi's kind, he lets us come back with really poor form and not doing what we're supposed to be doing, and on the next run he's like, no, you've got to push your hips out, guys, you've actually got to do what I'm asking you to do. So we spin round and he's like, right, push your hips out. So you can see we're actually starting to push our hips out a little bit more there, so you'd be covering more distance and be much more of an effective knee if you were to actually do that while sparring or in a fight. But yeah, we are gassed, we are absolutely finished. You know what's funny is, from holding onto pads and gloves for that long and gripping that tight, like, your hands or at least mine do, because I'm just not conditioned to it, just start to shake. So I've been trying to put the mic back in the camera, and it was like trying to get thread through a needle. I just couldn't, because my hand was moving all over the place. Absolute embarrassment. We didn't spar today, which was probably a good thing, because it was my first time back after about 2 months, and I was struggling, as you could see. As it was, I was really struggling. I was sweating like a pregnant nun. It was really bad, but good fun. I do feel so I pulled my hamstring. When I'm in the gym, I really enjoy being heavier, because I can just lift, I can shift quite a lot of weight. It's at times like that I feel so heavy and so sluggish, because I am capable for about 10 seconds, and then after that I'm horrendous. I'm like an asthmatic in steelworks. I just can't cope. I'm absolutely finished.